Okay. Welcome to FM Tuition Academy. Okay. Welcome to FM Tuition Academy. If you want to do GCE Solutions, make sure you contact us on this WhatsApp line 095 333 1204. Okay, contact us on that WhatsApp line, and then we'll be able to start training you. Okay, now we are continuing with the midpoint. Okay, part 2. Midpoint, part 2. This is maths. Okay, midpoint part 2. Now, the type of midpoint we're going to be looking at, guys, now. These questions are a little bit different from what you did previously. Now, for example, if this is an exercise, okay? This is, an example rather, not an exercise. If this is an example, we name it example 1. Okay, if a question comes saying, this is example 1. A straight line has a midpoint of 2,3 and passes through, I'll continue to on the next page, and passes through point A, which is 2,2. Find the value, find the coordinates of point B. Okay. So a simple illustration of what they're saying. They're saying a straight line. Okay, to draw it, maybe to just make you understand. For example, if this is a straight line, they are trying to say there is a midpoint here, and then so the midpoint here, they are saying, I'm just trying to illustrate so that you can understand, so that when you're calculating you don't get confused, guys. So they are saying the midpoint here is 2,3. Okay, so it means my midpoint here, it is 2,3. Okay, this is my midpoint, and then point A is here, there is point B this side, depending on how they have asked you, whether it's point C, point D, whatever points I've given you the names. But point A is 2,2. Okay, so on point A is 2,2. Point A here, it is 2,2. I'm just using simple illustration to help you understand. But they want us to find the coordinates of point B, X, Y. We do not know, but we have the midpoint. So it means we're going to use the midpoint formula. Okay, that's how we do it now. You see, that's why here the question says, find the coordinates of B, provided you have got a midpoint and one of the other points. Okay, you have got the midpoint and the other point this side. You are looking for the third point, which is this one. Okay, we're looking for this point here. Okay, we have this one and we have this one, but we're looking for this one. So we write first the formula for midpoint. So midpoint, x in the x coordinate, it is x2 plus x1 over 2. And then those points that we have, we go back. This x. Now this time we're not finding. Here we have got the midpoint. So the midpoint is what? Let's look at the midpoint. The midpoint is 2,3. So we'll come to the question. Midpoint is 2,3. So 2,3 is a midpoint, and then point A is 2,2. 2,2. So that's the information. Right? Now I'm supposed to plug these things in this formula. So we already know that we'll label this. This is x1, y1, point A. But for this one, you don't name it x2 and y2. Why? Because it's a midpoint. So this one, you just name it x and y. Let's hope you have heard. X and y. You don't label it x1, y1, or x2, y2. No. This one is just x and y. Why? Because it's a what? It's a midpoint. Okay? So what is x? X here on the midpoint, as you can see, x is 2. So here where there is x, I'll put 2 is equal to x2 is the one I'm looking for, plus x1 is what? X1, it is 2 here, you can see it. So I put 2 over 2. Then I simplify this. So you already know this is 2 over 1. Okay? I think this you already know. This is simple maths. This is like grade 9 maths. Over 1 and then cross multiply. Okay? So we've got x2 plus 2. That 1 times this one, this side. x2 plus 2 is equal to 2 times this 2 down here, it's 4. So the first equation we have is x2 plus 2 is equal to 4. So x2 is equal to 4. That 2 goes this side, becomes minus 2. So x2 is going to be equal to 2. So I found the x coordinate for point B. Okay? Now I'm going to find now the y coordinate for point B. So we write the formula for y now, midpoint but in the y direction. So we say y again, it will be y2 plus y1 over 2. So the midpoint, we already know what the midpoint is. The midpoint was what? 2,3. Okay? That was our midpoint. Our midpoint was 2,3. And then our point A was 2,2. 2,2. Then we label them. We said we're supposed to label them. So this is x1, y1. And then this one is x, this one is y. It's not x2, it's y. So, but now, here it's y. So we pick this y here. Y there, it's actually 3. So it means here where there is y, you put 3 is equal to y2, that's what I'm looking for, plus y1. y1 is 2. You can see it here. y1 is 2. So here you put 2 over 2. Over 2. And then even here you do a cross multiplying, you do like that. So we have got y2 plus 2 is equal to 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 2 is actually 6. 3 times 2 is actually 6. So you go to 3 times 2 is actually 6. So we have got y2 plus, what was the y2 plus 2 is equal to 6. I'm continuing. So y2 is equal to 6 minus 2. y2 is going to be equal to 4. So therefore, point B, which we are looking for, is x2, y2. So these x2 and y2, they're the ones that we were calculating, if you remember. So what are the coordinates? We have already calculated them. What is x2? In our calculations, we found that x2 is actually what? x2 is 2. And then what about y2? y2 is y2 is this one, 4. So meaning x2 comma y2, so meaning the b coordinate x2 there is the 2 comma y2 is actually 4. That's how you do it, guys. Have you seen? So meaning this is the point that we're looking for. So use the formula, you label it x and y and so on, and then you substitute in the formula. So that's the first example. That's how you do it. Example 2. Example 2. Example 2. Example 2 says if the midpoint is 2 comma 5 over 2 in brackets, and point C is 2 comma 4. What is the coordinates of point T? What is the coordinates of point D? Okay? What's the coordinate of point D? Okay. What's the coordinate of point D? Okay, so we start solving this. So the answer, the first thing is you write we first put the midpoint. Roughly what I'm trying to say is this line is like this. So there are 3. There is this part, and this part. So this midpoint here, it's just for rough sketch, just to help you understand. Midpoint, it means on the middle. So the midpoint is the midpoint. MD means midpoint. Don't get confused. MD, this MD I put here, MD. Oh, actually, so I'm supposed to put MP, not MD. Midpoint, not MD. Midpoint. So the midpoint is what for the question that we are dealing with. So I said the midpoint for this question is the midpoint is this one. The midpoint here is 2 comma 5 over 2. So my midpoint is 2 comma 5 over 2. So midpoint is 2 comma 5 over 2 in close brackets, and then we're looking for point D, which we do not know the coordinates for this one, which is x2 comma y2. Okay, but the other one we know. For this one, according to the question, point C is 2 comma 4. So on point C is 2 comma 4. Where is point C? So this is point C. Point C there, it's 2 comma 4. So meaning this one is x1 y1. Okay, they are not going to put for its safest point, so this one is on the middle. So we're looking for this one this side. So don't get yourself confused. Don't get yourself confused. Okay? Don't get yourself confused. Okay? Don't get yourself confused. What do you do for this one? So, for this one, you use the same formula. which we had used, x2 is equal to, x, not x2, the formula for midpoint, x is equal to x2 plus x1 divided by 2, and also y is equal to y2 plus y1 divided by 2. Okay. Let me just start with x first so that I don't confuse you. So I use the whole of this space for x. So the midpoint here is our midpoint. It is 2, 5 over 2. And then our point C, we said it is the you remember what our point C is, huh? Where is that line? We labeled it. Okay, our point C is here, 2, 4. So point C 2, 4. Point C is 2, 4. Point C is 2, 4. Point C is 2, 4. And then you substitute them in the formula which we're looking for. So this is x1, y1. And then we said this one is x, this one is y. We don't put x2, no. And then you substitute. Here on y you put 5 over 2. On x you put 5 over 2. On y you put 5 over 2. On x there, x is 2, so meaning on x here you put 2 is equal to x2, we do not know, which is what we are looking for, plus x1 is this one down here, x1 is 2, so you put 2 over 2. So we have got this is over 1, you cross multiply, x2 plus 2 is equal to 4. So we are going to have x2 plus 2 is equal to 4. So x2 is equal to 4. That 2 goes this side, becomes minus. So x2 is going to be equal to 2. It's going to be equal to 2. And then next. So I found x2. We're now looking for y. So y2 plus y1 over 2. So the midpoint is 2, 5 over 2. And then point C is 2, 4. Okay. So we have x1, y1. This is x, this is y. So here where is y here is this y here, which is 5 over 2. So there I put 5 over 2 is equal to y2 plus y1 is this one here, 4. So I put 4 there over 2. Okay, then you cross multiply. Okay, so that is this 2. We are multiplying it by that. So 2, this 2 down multiplies by open bracket y2 plus 4 close bracket is equal to this 5 times this 2 is 10. Okay, or maybe if you don't want to put 10, you can put 5 times open bracket 2. So we have 2 y2 plus 4 closed is equal to 5, 2. So you don't get confused. So 2 times y2 plus 2 times 4 it's 8. That is 10. So 2y2 is equal to 10. This 2 goes this side. This 8 goes becomes minus. So 2y2 is equal to 2. You divide by 2. You divide by 2. So y2 is going to be equal to 2 into 2, 1, 2 into 2, 1. So is equal to y2 is equal to 1. So therefore the coordinates of C, it's x2, comma y2. So x2 is what? x2 is, we found 2, comma y2 is 1. Those are the ones that we got. You see? Those are the ones that we got. Okay, you can see y2 is 1. Okay, and then x2 is 2. So those are the coordinates that we got. This x2 is 2, y2 is 1. Okay, now you can solve the exercise. Now the exercise, guys. The exercise. This is the exercise that we are going to do. Pam 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 pam. Exercising question 1. So this is the question 1. Question 1 says question 1 says midpoint of straight line is the -2, comma -1, and point P is the -6, comma 2. -6, comma 2. Find point T. Find point T. That's question 1. Question 2. Question 2. This is question 2. Question 2 says this. When question 2 says, this is question 2. If A is -4, comma -2, and the midpoint is the -1, comma half. -1, comma half. Find point B. Okay, for the coordinates of point B. Find the coordinates of point B, or find point B. Find the coordinates of point B. Okay, come to the end. So try those 2 exercises. Thank you.